In a quaint village nestled amongst rolling hills lived a cobbler named Tobias and his wife, Martha. They were honest folk, known for their sturdy shoes and even sturdier work ethic. Their greatest joy, however, came from their three sons. Franz, the eldest, with a head full of dreams as vast as the sky and a voice as booming as a thunderstorm. Klaus, the middle son, strong and steady as an oak with a mischievous glint in his eye. And lastly, Dummling, unlike his brothers, wasn't blessed with striking looks or boisterous energy. He was quiet, with a mop of unruly brown hair and eyes that held a gentle curiosity about the world. Yet, within his unassuming frame beat a heart overflowing with kindness. One crisp autumn morning, a dark cloud settled over their humble home. Tobias, usually a picture of health, fell ill. The village doctor, a wizened old man with a bushy beard and a satchel filled with strange concoctions, shook his head gravely. "He needs a single feather from a golden goose," he declared, a creature said to reside deep within the whispering woods. Franz, ever the brave one, volunteered to venture into the woods first. Martha packed him a rich cake, baked with plum blueberries and dusted with cinnamon sugar, and a flask of the strongest wine. He set off with a confident stride, whistling a merry tune. On the path, he met a little gray man with eyes that twinkled like polished pebbles. "Good morning, young man," the little man greeted him. "Where are you headed with such a delicious treat?" Franz, preoccupied with his mission and fueled by youthful arrogance, scoffed. "None of your business, old-timer," he barked, clutching the cake and wine tighter. The little man gave a slight shrug and shuffled off into the woods, leaving Franz to his journey. Reaching the whispering woods, Franz was met by a symphony of rustling leaves and the eerie calls of unseen birds. He searched for hours, his confidence dwindling as the light dimmed. Finally, exhausted and frustrated, he swung his axe at a nearby tree, accidentally gashing his arm. Defeated and in pain, he limped back home empty-handed. Klaus, witnessing his brother's misfortune, felt a surge of determination. He packed a hearty meat pie and a flagon of ale, convinced these provisions were the key to success. As he ventured into the woods, he too encountered the little gray man. Unlike his brother, Klaus hesitated. "Good morrow," the little man greeted him. "Where are you off to with such a satisfying meal?" Klaus, wary but not unkind, mumbled a reply about seeking the golden goose. "Ah!" the little man chuckled, a soft sound like wind chimes. "Careful what you seek, young man. Sometimes kindness goes a longer way than provisions." Klaus, unsure of the meaning, continued his way, a seed of doubt planted in his mind. He navigated the woods with more caution than his brother, but found no sign of the golden goose. As darkness began to fall, he tripped over a gnarled root, twisting his ankle painfully. Frustrated and hurt, he returned home, empty-handed once more. Martha, filled with worry, turned to her youngest son. "Dummling, my dear," she said, her voice thick with concern, "your father needs you. Perhaps you can find what your brothers couldn't." Dummling, despite his quiet nature, held a fierce love for his family. He readily agreed, packing a simple meal, a burnt biscuit and a flask of soured beer, the remnants of their meager breakfast. On his way, he met the little gray man. Unlike his brothers, Dummling stopped, his heart brimming with genuine kindness. "Good morning, sir," he said politely. "I'm Dummling, and I'm on a quest to find a golden goose. May I offer you some of my meager provisions?" The little man's eyes crinkled with delight. He graciously accepted the food, and as he ate and drank, the biscuit transformed into a delicate pastry with plums, and the soured beer turned into a sweet, sparkling cider. "Thank you, Dummling, for your generosity," the little man said, a smile gracing his lips. "Follow the path less traveled, and you shall find what you seek." With renewed hope, Dummling ventured deeper into the woods. He soon found himself on a hidden path, bathed in an ethereal glow filtering through the dense canopy. There, nestled amongst the roots of a giant oak, he spotted a magnificent golden goose, its feathers shimmering like sunlight. He gently plucked a single feather, respecting the creature's beauty. As soon as he did, the little grayman reappeared. "Well done, Dumpling," he declared. "Your kindness has been rewarded." The golden goose tucked comfortably under his arm, Dumpling started his journey back. As dusk approached, he stumbled upon a charming little inn nestled amongst the trees. Exhausted from his trek, he decided to spend the night. The innkeeper, a portly man with a perpetually worried frown, welcomed him with a gruff nod. Dumpling, ever polite, introduced himself and explained his reason for being in the woods. The innkeeper's eyes widened at the sight of the golden goose. Inside the inn, the aroma of freshly baked bread and simmering stew filled the air. The innkeeper had 3 daughters, all with eyes that sparkled like their father's purse when they saw the golden goose. As soon as Dumpling settled down for a well-deserved sleep, the eldest daughter, Greta, crept into his room, her mind set on stealing a golden feather. She reached out, her fingers brushing the bird's soft plumage, only to find herself stuck fast. Panic surged through her, but before she could cry out, her sister, Helga, arrived, drawn by the commotion. Helga, seeing her sister's predicament, tried to pull her free, but instead became stuck herself, forming a comical human chain. Finally, the youngest daughter, Ingrid, with a heart not quite as greedy as her sister's, rushed in to help. Needless to say, she too became entangled in the feathery mess. The morning light found Dumpling bewildered by the sight before him, the 3 daughters clinging desperately to the golden goose, their faces contorted in a mixture of fear and frustration. The innkeeper, woken by the commotion, burst into the room, his face turning the color of a beet upon seeing his daughter's predicament. Dumpling, stifling a laugh, explained how the goose seemed to have developed an aversion to being touched by greedy hands. News of the spectacle spread like wildfire through the village. A traveling parson, known for his booming voice and sharp wit, along with his sexton, a stout man with a perpetual case of the hiccups, happened to be passing through. Drawn by the commotion, they stumbled upon the inn, only to be captivated by the sight of the golden goose parade. The parson, ever the showman, declared himself the only one capable of breaking the spell, and attempted to separate the daughters, only to become stuck himself. His sexton, unable to contain his laughter, rushed to his aid, promptly becoming the 4th link in the increasingly comical chain. Seeing the ever-growing human train trailing behind Dumpling and the goose, 2 burly laborers known for their strength and love of ale decided to intervene. With a hearty "leave it to us," they grabbed hold of the sexton, only to be met with the same fate as the others. Now, Dumpling found himself leading a bizarre procession, the 3 daughters, the parson with the hiccuping sexton dangling from him, and lastly, the 2 bewildered laborers. The news reached a nearby castle, where a young princess resided. The princess, known for her melancholic disposition, had never been seen to smile, let alone laugh. The king, her father, was at his wits' end. He had promised her hand in marriage to anyone who could make her laugh. As the commotion of Dumpling's parade reached the castle walls, the princess, overcome with a fit of giggles, threw back her head and laughed for the first time in her life. The sound, like the tinkling of a wind chime, echoed through the castle halls, bringing joy to the hearts of all who heard it. Dumpling, his heart pounding, presented the golden feather to the king. The princess, tears sparkling in her eyes, confessed, "Your kindness, not the feather, broke the curse." The king, touched, declared Dumpling the victor. As the golden goose waddled free, the others, now human again, grumbled but learned their lesson. Dumpling, hesitant but hopeful, looked at the princess, whose smile outshone the sun. "Would you," he stammered, "like to share a simple biscuit, and perhaps a laugh?" The princess's eyes softened. "There's nothing I'd rather do."